Perfect. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar. We are going to kick it off with, again, just announcing that you are at the LISC webinar hosted by our fabulous partners. A couple of notes. We will have the chat open for all attendees and our speakers. So please feel free, if you have any questions, to put them in the chat. We also have the Q&A box as well. And with that, I'll pass it off to our lovely speakers.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much and welcome everyone. So thank you for joining us today. My name is Destiny Mitchell and I am a Senior Program Officer on LISC National Economic Development Team. And we're excited to partner with IEDC for today's conversation. So while we're getting started, please go ahead and take a second and place where you are joining us from, wherever you are in the country and your organization, just so we can get a feel for who's in the room. And so before we jump in, I want to briefly level set. So today we're talking about strengthening small business teams through digital upskilling. And so I want to talk about why this topic matters and how to listen to today's session. So across the country, small businesses are navigating workforce challenges, rising costs, and a rapidly changing technology all at once. Digital tools and skills are no longer optional, and they are the core to how businesses operate, manage teams, and stay competitive. So today is about moving beyond theory and looking at what digital upskilling actually looks like in practice and inside real organizations. Can we move to the next slide? So why digital upskilling matters right now? So think about digital upskilling as an economic infrastructure, just like access to capital or physical space. Digital capacity shapes whether a business can grow, retain staff, or even handle disruptions. So when teams understand and use digital tools well, leaders are less stretched, work is shared more effectively, and businesses are better positioned to adapt. So for those of you supporting small businesses or local economies, digital skills directly influence productivity, customer engagement, and long-term stability. So when you talk about digital upskilling, we are really thinking about business health and community resilience as well. If we can move to the next slide. So a little bit about the tool we're talking about today. So Small Business Digital Ready is a free national platform that provides small businesses and their teams with practical digital skills across areas like marketing, operations, finance, and leadership. So the learning is flexible and it's designed to be applied immediately to day-to-day work. And it was designed by small businesses for small businesses. And so it's important to understand that this platform does not just sit in isolation. It's very much reinforced by LISC National Small Business Development Organization Network, which I've had the pleasure of working on and leading the last 4 years. And these videos are trusted local organizations that are working directly with small businesses in urban and rural communities across the country. So they help businesses apply what they're learning, stay engaged, and navigate challenges as they come up. And so the local trust is what's really important. So the local trust and relationship is a big reason digital tools can actually get used rather than just signed up for. And this work is supported through our long-term partnership between LISC and Verizon, which is very much grounded in a shared commitment between expanding digital access and opportunities for small businesses nationwide. And so before I get out of your way, let's go to the next slide. So I want to briefly zoom out just for a little bit of context. So at LISC, Small Business Digital Ready is a part of a broader ecosystem approach that we have here. So national partnerships like this allow us to bring tools and resources to scale to organizations across the country and to small businesses. So our video network ensures that businesses have, like I said before, trusted and on-the-ground support. And the focus on accessible learning helps meet businesses exactly where they are today. So today we're not just going deep into program design or structure. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have more questions about how we work, our video network, LISC, or anything like that. I'll put my email in the chat. But instead, we want to really focus on application and real world use. So that brings us to Julie. And Julie will introduce herself shortly. Julie will spend the bulk of our time together walking through real world and real case examples of how we can use this tool and resource, how it can be used within a team setting. She will share what worked, what hasn't worked, what's been learned, how digital upskilling can support team growth and capacity, how you can use it immediately. And as you listen, I encourage you to think about how similar approaches could show up in your own work. So please Place any questions that you have in the chat. We'll answer we'll answer these questions actively in the chat, and then we'll also reserve time towards the end of our discussion today to answer those and communicate back and forth with you guys. So with that, I'm very excited to turn it over to Julie to take us into the heart of today's session.
Thank you so much, Destiny, and thank you, IEDC, for today's session. And thanks for each and every one of you for your time and the gift of your time and commitment to small businesses and community. You know, if 2020 didn't teach us anything about being resilient, 2025 has definitely given us the opportunity to test those resiliency skills and really strengthen small businesses and the work that we do to help them. I'm a small business. I have been a small business owner for 27 years. I am also a recipient of the LISC Abbott funding. I am also actively using the Small Business Digital Ready tool and want to share what's worked for us and how y'all can use it to empower your organization and better serve your community and your members, and then also be able to supplement all of the wonderful tools and resources that you're already doing for your clients and your small businesses. So we've got a whole lot packed in a little over an hour, and this is what we're going to cover. How these digital tools can help support small businesses and workforce development and retention and scale. So the focus really is on closing that gap between learning and doing and turning it from learning to doing to scaling and strengthening. And all of these different tools, how businesses can use them as job aids and drive productivity and develop future entrepreneurs and develop the people within those businesses and develop your own team and the resources. Give everyone an owner mindset, and this culture of conduit of learning definitely develops leadership. And then these are all no-cost resources, not only to your organization, but to the communities and small businesses that you serve. So let's make sure to share everything. And Destiny's going to put the link to the Verizon Digital Ready platform in the chat. What you can expect from us is an engaging session and tools for immediate implementation. We've got time for questions at the end, but we want to make sure that you put your comments and questions in the chat as we go along. And also, I really encourage you, as this is a peer learning environment, if there's a great idea or something that has triggered a pivot point within your organization that you want to implement, go ahead and put that in the chat so others can benefit from that as well. It's about ideas and actions and moving all of our communities, which we care so much about, moving forward. So after today, listen and participate, right? Test drive these ideas. Put your contact information in the chat so we can share and really help each other grow through this. Provide feedback, and most importantly, celebrate each other's successes and share them along the way. So why did Destiny and Kanika at LISC reach out to me and ask me to do this and provide this information? Well, I am a product of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. I have actively leveraged each and every resource that has come my way along the way. And we're relatable. I'm also on boards of organizations that we're struggling to keep members, struggling to provide value, and struggling to provide resources in a timely fashion to the members of those organizations. Here's my contact information, and I will put it in the chat towards the end. And what does B2G Victory do? We provide wraparound services to help businesses grow and scale through government contracting. So I also have a team that I am growing each and every day. As we go through the content, encourage you to think about these actionable items, these Monday morning moments, or things that you can immediately implement, and put those in the chat. And then think about what is your long-term strategy and tactics for applying this information for maybe a specific small business that you're helping right now or within your nonprofit organization? And how does all of that lead to success? So maybe break it up into 4 quadrants. What is something I can do this month, right? What is a quick and easy win to help build that momentum, to help build that encouragement? Something I can do for the remainder of the quarter. What is a long-term goal, maybe in Q2 or Q3? Everything that we do relates to this learning pyramid. And what's great is as we go through and dissect the Digital Ready platform, I'm going to point out how the different elements of the learning platform relate to the learning pyramid as well as the retention rate. Because this is all about retaining the information that's covered. But when you retain it, that's only one part of it. Now we've got to do it. And then we also have to be able to measure these results so we can report the results to our stakeholders regarding the true impact that we are making in each one of our communities. So first, we're going to just talk about the landing page. When you go to Verizon Digital Ready, this is the first landing page that you see. And this is even before you log in. And I think it's really important here that it is 100% free. You can start learning in 3 minutes or less, right? So these are these chunks. Being able to solve these specific challenges that a business owner has or that you have within your organization. Get in, get an answer, and get out. And it's tested, right? These are from industry experts. And then it's always learning on your time. We all know as stewards and advocates of our community and small businesses, life and business doesn't operate in an 8 to 5. So anytime they can log on. And also the app is, the website is also mobile ready. What is also great is the platform addresses both English speakers as well as Spanish speakers. So you can flip if a large part of your community is Spanish speaking, the Verizon Digital Ready platform is there for them as well. So we're going to just kind of talk about the platform when you first see it. This is even all before you log in. So if somebody is hesitant about creating an account or wants to just kind of see what it's about, you can do that. We've got a ton of courses, over 60 courses. And what's great is all of the courses are chunked in these categories and then subcategories. Once again, meeting you and meeting the small business owners where they are and the topics that are relevant to helping them scale. Virtual events. So in addition to the courses, these virtual events on different topics, and you'll see this trend through these topics all the way through, right? So as you prioritize certain areas of your business and your organization, or when you're providing technical support or coaching your clients or your small businesses, it's very easy here to help versus just being overwhelmed sometimes, because that trust me, that can be a big part of resistance to doing some of this, is just being overwhelmed. So these virtual events, you can see them, and they're broken up into Ask the Expert or even hands-on. So some of these events, you're actually going through and doing the activities, right? So that helps, once again, close that learning, doing action gap. Funding, LISC also has funding resources. Currently, there aren't any grants, but encourage your members to go and look. Promotions, just an added value part of the Digital Ready platform are promotions with partners that Verizon has that businesses need at discounted prices. So spend some time in looking through that if that is relevant to your organization or to send to other businesses. And expanding the network. These are specific community events through the platform, and this is all peer-to-peer check-ins. So these are every other week where you're kind of put in a cohort to help just that continued support and community that we all really need. And what's really nice here is they've got these small business spotlights. So if you have a member that they've got a candy making business, they've got here I highlighted Hector, who's business and HR consulting. So once again, other small businesses that are relatable. So you can pull them up and see how Hector used this platform and what he was recommending, right? So once again, being relatable. The footer of the platform has all of this information all the time as you go through it. So what does the registration process look like? It is super simple. And I wanted to make sure to go through this because once again, lowering the barriers of entry and lowering that resistance rate. So first step is let's find topics that interest you and choose up to 3. So once again, it is already starting to build this custom platform for you and your businesses to help them. You can always change it, but start off with the 3. And then the second step is how do you identify with the group? So it's those types of questions that are asked. It is optional. Where is your business located? We started with that, right? What part of the country are you in? And we've got people from all over the country, which is very, very exciting. And then the last step is, you're going to put in your business name, email address, and then password. So we're in. And we have an account set up. So I'm going to walk y'all through our account, how I've used it to help grow my team, how I've used these sessions and built better job descriptions and been able to develop my team as well as take the sessions that they've done and incorporate them into our day-to-day operations. So this is my dashboard. Your dashboard, after you've registered, that's just the first landing page that you come to. And it's great because it tells you exactly where you left off. And based on your preferences that were set up, it tells you some other things that are recommended. Then you've got your other areas up at the top that I'm a superstar because I completed my profile. We've got grant goals that are completed and then resources. So the different types of resources, how have I leveraged those in terms of courses or events? On your dashboard, you're able to explore the resources by topic. And what we've done at B2G Victory is I have matched the specific topics with the respective team members and have assigned them learning paths as well as courses to take within the Verizon Digital Ready platform. And so you can see Susan's our proposal manager, Colby does website, Suzanne's our bookkeeper, Angela's our proposal manager, and including me, right? I think it's really important as a leader within my organization to be that conduit of learning and also be sharpening my saw right alongside my teams. So we had a kickoff meeting on the platform and we walked all the way through it. So upcoming events, as you are familiarizing yourself with the platform, these upcoming events, so looking at how do these events fit with your needs as well as fit in your calendar. And some events are recorded and some aren't. So you'll have to, look and see what works. And then once again, it is recommending events based on those 3 categories that I put in. And then suggested courses as I just go down my dashboard. So suggested courses, recommended, new, or popular. And I can also see from my dashboard which courses I started, right? So I've got 20 minutes remaining in the Intro to Online Growth and Marketing, but we've already completed how to spread the digital word and the communication strategy. And then we signed up for finding the right finance for your business, but haven't finished it. So you can see which courses and where they are. I also want to point out that you can choose favorites with the heart on these courses. So maybe some of these are favorites that you want to either go back to or repeat with someone within your team, or maybe it's another favorite that you want to use maybe next quarter, right? You can adapt however you want to use favorites. One of the most recent additions to the platform last summer were these quick tips. And these are amazing because they're under 3 minutes. I've actually started going to the platform for quick tips first, and then I go to AI because these are tested tips, right? And they're videos, some of them are videos or articles. So you can see the method of delivery right here. And then, whether they're 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So once again, a great resource. I have a problem, I have a question, where do I go to get a quick answer? Because sometimes we don't have time to go through a whole course or a learning path, and we just need either a quick tip or a quick fix. So that is our dashboard. The notifications are all the way at the top right of your screen. And as you register for a course or new offers are posted on the platform or new content, you'll get notifications. So those are a great way to go and look. Also, if maybe a small business is sharing an account, then they'll be able to see when other members of their team have completed it. And I love this quote from Napoleon Hill about how you can succeed best and quickest is by helping others to succeed. And this is what we are all about. And wanted to answer just a few questions that have come into the chat. This is all free. You do not have to be a Verizon customer to have access to it. Anyone can take advantage of these resources. So the largest retention rate in the learning pyramid is 90%, which is teaching others and immediate use. So I want to talk about how we at B2G have taken the platform and incorporated it for teaching others and immediate use. So every week we have a huddle, and that is 1 hour dedicated to our organization where we all get together. In 15 minutes of it, at the end, one person of our team we call them knowledge bombs, and they are responsible for sharing knowledge. So once again, they have taken something from the Digital Ready platform and is sharing that knowledge amongst our entire team. And so we have it scheduled and it rotates. And each team member is notified 2 weeks in advance. So they have plenty of time to do that. Plus, I've incorporated that into their professional development path. And in order for promotions and such, they've got to show all of the work that is done through the digital learning. So quick tips as we move up in the learning pyramid. Once again, practice by doing, right? So when I go to these quick tips and then I actually do them, then the retention rate increases 75%. So once again, we're closing that gap between the learning, the doing action, and actually implementation. So these quick tips are amazing. When you click on one of the quick tips, so we're going to walk through how to supercharge your email. It talks about the topics, right? So it's got these topics once again tied to those course categories, tied to the subcategories. So once again, I am focused on a specific area of operations. Here are the quick tips, the courses, the events that all tie to that. So you can see that there. And then the share, you can clip this, copy it just straight to your clipboard and maybe share it to a fellow small business or a member within your organization or someone that you're serving. Or maybe this fits into some of the curriculum and technical support assistance that you're already offering. So you want to make sure to share that with your community. So great way to do that. And then you can just copy and paste it in your email. We've got kind of a question. I'm going to take it here about how is this more or less beneficial than LinkedIn Learning or any other platform? I personally like this better than LinkedIn Learning. I think it's better organized. I think it is a more robust platform because it has the events, it has the peer learning, it has the quick tips, and then it also has these learning paths, which I'm about to cover here. And all of the industry experts are vetted by LISC and other organizations, and Destiny can talk to that at the end of the session. So these learning paths are really powerful tools to kind of broaden topics and impact a business. So I would think of like a learning path as a roadmap, and then the courses are deeper dives into a specific topic or facet along the way. So the learning path is the collection of courses and events. So it is both built around the foundation of a topic. So if there's a specific aspect of the strategy, how does that tie to the learning path, right? Or a specific part of someone's professional development. So once again, we've got our broad topic categories here. And then there is even a guided feature that once you start your learning path, it continues to recommend other topics. So here is an example of our learning path for funding as well as online marketing and strategy. And as you continue to scroll to the right, you'll be able to see them. And these are the 3 learning paths that we selected based on when we registered, right? Because it said to pick those 3. You can always change them, and I'm going to show you that towards the end. But they're filtered by your profile topics. And it's, like I said, a collection. And then you even have kind of the subheading about, so here in online marketing, we're going to boost our revenue with savvy social media marketing techniques. So you've got the path, you've got the technique, and then you've got the learning topic. I like to tie these learning paths to job descriptions and duties and day-to-day tasks. So here is the entire learning path for social media, how to increase your social media impact. There's 4 resources. To complete the entire learning path is 1 hour and 57 minutes. So that gives you the total screen time for that. It lets you know the languages that the learning path is offered in, how you're able to share it maybe with other team members or other employees, and then you can add it to your favorites. It also shows you where you are in the overall progress of the learning path. So when I'm meeting with my team members and doing pulses or check-ins, I'm able to see where are they in their learning path, and then how have we implemented that in their day-to-day tasks. And scrolling down a little bit farther on the screen, you can see the 4 specific courses that are a part of the learning path, and which ones have been completed and which ones haven't. So that's a really nice gauge on that. And when you sign up for a learning path, you'll get an email. So as you sign up with them, you'll get the emails, and then they're also going to be showing up in your library. So that's what the detailed email looks like there. And there's a whole variety of different learning paths that you can do. So we talked about learning paths as a whole and then a specific course. So how does that relate? Well, that's, specific practice by doing. And so with the course, you're going to be able to really take a deeper dive into a specific topic. And following the same icon strategy as a learning path, the courses have the total number of minutes, whether it's in English and Spanish, the ability to share it, and then the ability to save it. So I'm going to walk y'all through how we implemented this specific course. And when I'm meeting with our team members and we're talking about time to take the course, keep in mind that that's 37 minutes. That's the time to take the course. I typically double or triple that number because I want to make sure that notes are taken from the course, action items are, and that I've had a chance to meet and implement the learning as well as the recommendations into the business strategy, into current tactics, and measure the results. So we typically triple that time. So here are the actual screen notes from taking that course. So we broke it down into, what did you learn? What are we going to do? And how are we going to measure these results? And so these are the bullet points from Susan's task of taking the online course. So then what are we going to do, right? We're going to implement it into our marketing calendar. We're going to share exclusive promotions. We're going to create lead magnets. And then from all of these, then we implemented it into our project management system, into our content calendar, and into our exact social media. Now, some courses like this one, this paid advertising, have job aids and downloadable resources. So what's great is when you go to a course, all of the courses have learning objectives. So that sets the playing field and sets reasonable expectations for not only you as an organization leader or a small business owner. What are you going to be able to expect, or what is the expected outcome of the time investment from taking either this course or this learning path? So there's the learning objectives there. And then it even breaks it down into these other chunks, because maybe it's not reasonable to have a team member take an entire hour of a day, or maybe that's a little too intimidating or overwhelming for someone. So then you can chunk it and really make it digestible and measurable to keep that momentum going, to encourage the learning as well. And also, while you're going through these courses, it's a great way to gauge your current knowledge. Compare this to your current processes and procedures, or your current standard operating procedures. And if you don't have them, that's okay too. You're able to use these resources and all of this knowledge to help build that within your organization. So you've got these downloadable resources, this worksheet about what to consider when purchasing in this course. So that's also really nice. So you're able to see which courses do and do not have resources. So let's jump into one of those job aids and one of those resources from a specific course that we did. So once again, in this learning pyramid, we're all the way down here in the discussion group and all of this active learning and active retention that's occurring. We together did this break even job aid, which is in one of those courses. And so we took the course together, and then we went through this job aid. And what's great is all of the job aids on the platform are PDFs. So you can download them, email them, save them, print them if you want, mark them up, whatever works great for you and your customers. Yes, I know it is awesome. Instead of just going to another session and leaving with the to-do list, this helps you organize your thoughts. It helps guide you along. So this is the example of the job aid for doing a break-even point. List the 3 areas where you can reduce costs. List the 3 ways where you can increase overall efficiency. And then next steps, right? Because this is all about action. Action for the small businesses and action for your organization. Most of the job aids have glossaries. And I encourage everyone, if there is a job aid associated with a course, go ahead and either download it or print it while you're doing the course. Because once again, now I'm listening, I'm learning, and I'm actually doing and writing. And also, if in the video, they're talking about words that maybe you don't understand, or someone within your organization doesn't understand, or maybe you're sitting right next to a small business and part of your technical assistance is y'all are going to go through this together. let's make sure that everyone knows all of these words because it's a muscle. And the more you learn, the stronger everything and everyone's going to be. So you've got, just the glossary there as well. And here on the job aid, it's got the practical use. So here's our profit margin, right? As a general rule, 10% profit margin is considered average. So now, after I go through this, I'm able to immediately implement it or compare it to my business and then find answers and make data-driven decisions. So we supplemented that job aid with some additional notes following that same format. What did I learn? How are we going to implement it? And how do we incorporate it? So we started after every job doing a job profitability report. And so this is out of QuickBooks. And so we started looking at them, every single one, and looking at what are our margins, where do we want them to be, where do we need them to be, what is in the market. And then we took it a step further and incorporated it into our project management platform and added an additional task for our bookkeeper to pull the profitability report. So once again, we took the course, we did the job aid, we did the exercise, and now we are putting it into and implementing it into all of the different aspects of our business operations. So, and then this is the task automation when we launch this template. Then the next step that we took after we did the break-even point was to really focus on efficiency. Since we're a service-based business and we don't make widgets, how do we become much more efficient in our time and our process? So when we went back through and updated the template for our capability statement service, we went ahead and added time efficiency. So now we are measuring up against our benchmarks. So we are increasing our profit margins after every single capability statement job that we do. Another section of the platform that enhances the learning paths are these virtual events. And the virtual events combine the discussion groups as well as demonstrations. So once again, really focusing on the active part of the learning pyramid and doing a little bit of the passive for demonstration. But how do we move everything from each one of these engagements forward into impact? When you go to the virtual events section, you've got these different filters. Once again, being able to get information and resources on what's important to you and the businesses that you serve. So quick in, quick out, how is it important to me? Now, let's say I missed an event and I want to see all of the recorded events. So you can see that some of the events have wait lists for them. Some are recorded, and then which events that you've added to favorites. So I can once again attend this event, but on my own time and still be able to get the benefit from the resources that are offered that I need to help strengthen operations, workforce development, or any resources available to me. So let's look at an event. This is an upcoming event on January the 27th. From To Hustle to Sustain Success, How to Grow Without Burnout. How many of us have heard that word burnout in the last couple of years, right? And so this is a great event to help us really get ready for 2026 and move forward. The events, we've got the categories right there. We've got preview, details, related, and support. So who is this event ideal for, right? And so it's ideal for the entrepreneurs, specifically those family-owned or founder-led businesses who are struggling with burnout and seek strategies for sustainable, balanced growth. So that's great too, because each one of these events, who is the target audience? So who could you send this event information to, and have them benefit from it. At the end, you'll have the tools too. So once again, what is the outcome of coming to this event? Why is this worth your time, right? And then the format. So there's various different formats, and then those topics. Once again, everything in the platform is designed around these topics, so you can move accordingly, and it's providing you recommendations based on the specific strategy and the specific topics that a business needs. And they change, right? I mean, you've got members that are having very specific needs, members that are at different places in their business life cycle, and you're able to direct them and provide resources that meet them where they are. Then the event details are down there as well. And then also additional events that are related. And I'm just moving across the tab there. So once again, based on your preferences, based on your community's needs or your organization's needs, there are constantly things that are recommended or related. And different events have different specifics. So I want to point out that this event, step-by-step financial projections, that is on February 19th, there is some expectations that prior to this event, the attendee will do certain things. So it says prior to the event, you should have your current financials up to date, ensure you have accounting software updated, and reconcile the last completed month. You'll be given 3 templates to download and follow along. So a great resource, but managing expectations of what the attendee needs to do and prepare for the event. And not all events have that, but it's really important to look and make sure that you are prepared for this event. And then off to the top right, you're able to see which events you are and are not enrolled in. And when you enroll in an event, Verizon Digital Ready makes it really great, because not only do you get the email, it also comes right there in your calendar, ready for you to accept, with the link straight to the platform for that specific event. So once again, making it easy to attend the events and the courses and things that you've signed up for. If you use your calendar in Teams, all of your events that you sign up for with Verizon Small Business Digital Ready will also show up in your calendar there. They're in Teams. Community is the next section that we're going to talk about on the platform. And back to the other question regarding the LinkedIn Learning platform. This community event section is all peer-to-peer check-ins. And this is a great place to make connections, share your challenges with other business owners, share advice and information, and also really be held accountable for your current goals, challenges. And it is this just great, open, collaborative space to help you break through these roadblocks that you're having, as well as, just really tapping in to the power of peer-to-peer support and that supportive network of other entrepreneurs. It's great problem solving, motivation, and just another way for businesses to know that there are resources there and help you, and that you don't have to go through this alone. I've been an entrepreneur for 27 years, and this is one of the best platforms, all-inclusive platforms out there. And so I just touched on with the peer-to-peer event, and these once again have prior to the event expectations as some of the virtual events do as well. And just like the learning paths and the courses and the virtual events, things that are related to this event, such as courses or other events that parallel the peer-to-peer check-ins are also encouraged. Got a question here about, are the events facilitated by LISC? The events are facilitated by the digital learning platform as well as the instructors that are part of the program. So we've gone over all of the different aspects of the Verizon Digital Ready platform and how you can use them in different ways and in ways to complement and supplement how you are supporting and providing your community and your library. So we talked about where everything all gets put together and where you can see your profile and all of the progress that you've made. And maybe you did a course a couple months ago and you need a refresher, or these are courses that you want to do later. So the platform provides a personalized library based on each login. And once again, in your library, over here on the far right are your favorites. So you can quickly sort or filter your library by your favorite courses, or you can just show all of the courses that you have either completed or events that you have attended, are all there in your library, which is great. As you go down, sort by topic as well as the status, right? So what is the status in your library of either an event or a course that you've completed or a course in progress, or something that you just haven't started. Maybe you signed up for a course and you had all of these great intentions and you just haven't gotten to it yet. And that's okay too. What's great about the library is you're able to use it however you would like. So maybe courses that you've signed up for that you haven't completed are going to be in your Q3 or Q4 platform. It just depends on how you want to use it. And then skill level. Every single course, every single event, every single quick tip is assigned a skill level, which really can help you as you're doing your development or your team's development or your small businesses that you serve. And you're able to manage those expectations of, is this foundational or intermediate? And I don't want to discourage anyone from taking a foundational course, because as you're in your learning path, it's also great to just revisit the basics and the foundations for one, to gauge, do I have a solid foundation? Am I doing all of the right things? Or maybe I just kind of bootstrapped some things and learned as I went. And so it's great to go back to some of these foundational courses and make sure that you do have a solid foundation that you are able to grow from. And then, of course, build into intermediate. It's also a great place to start when you're looking to build your team and develop someone's professional development path. Is always just, let's just start at the foundation and just make sure that we're great there. Your business profile. Your business profile is, and we're kind of taking everything full circle here. When you set up your account, that starts your, excuse me, your business profile. And what industry best describes you. And you can edit all of this information. So say you set up your account and then you want to revise it. That's okay. It's all right there. And what topics are you interested in? And what resources are you looking for? So once again, when you set these up or you change them, the platform is amazing, and it revises and updates those suggestions and those recommendations for you based on the topics and based on the resources. So it's important to, update your profile maybe yearly or every 6 months, or as your business or your organization's needs change, depending on where you are in the business life cycle, depending on maybe you're in a big growth mode and hiring quite a few people, or maybe you really want to focus on your website or whatever. Make sure to go to the business profile and update those accordingly so the platform can do all of its magic. As we wrap up and get ready to open up the floor for questions and answers, I would love for you to put in the chat one or two takeaways from our time together. What is something that you are going to implement within your organization? Or maybe as we were going through this information, there was a small business or one of your clients or one of your members that you had in mind that you want to make sure to share this information with. So we're going to open up the chat, and please put that information in there. We'd love to hear your ideas and thoughts. So we do have a question, demonstrate how to change your pathways and subject areas. Yes, I can go back through that, and that is in the business profile. So you are allowed to choose 3 at a time, and then it will change as you go through the platform and do other recommendations. At any time, you can have multiple learning paths on different topics. So here is the example of, we've got the funding learning path, an online learning path, and then there's a strategy learning path. And then as you go through the courses, courses will also let you know if they're like a standalone course or what learning path they're a part of and where they are in the learning path. So learning paths is that roadmap in that journey, which is made up of events and courses. Courses are that deep dive into a specific topic. So you could do just courses, or you could do the entire learning path, whatever works for you. Great question. So digging into the events portion, wonderful. Planning on sharing it. I would also be interested to hear and share if after this course, maybe you did like a viewing session, right? And had a group of business owners come together and do, one of these virtual events, at your facility, or even, take one of these learning paths and have, 3 or 4 businesses go through it together, and have, someone facilitate it, in person, and then have everyone just kind of work through it together. And so now we're really, maximizing the conduit of learning in this environment where we're doing it on the screen, having a facilitator, and then having it in person and sharing that. So we're combining all sorts of different learning methods and being able to really leverage the topic. And, you're not having to find a content creator or your organization having to come up with content on its own. It's right here and available for you to incorporate into your curriculum calendar. Scroll down here. Other questions or comments? If there's another section that you'd like for me to go over, we're more than happy to. got a question from Tony. Referenced impact with small businesses that are overwhelmed. Yeah. Surveys and measurements so challenging. Any insight for measuring the tool effectively? I can share from my perspective how we've done it. I have incorporated it into job descriptions, right? So I've been able to increase my team's professional development. I've been able to, the job profitability immediately, we incorporated it into our day-to-day processes and procedures. I know other businesses that, make it a point that each one of their team members has to take X number of courses per quarter or per year and has made it a part of their growth strategy. I know that LISC and Verizon might be able to have numbers. I don't have access to all of that information of the number of people who have taken it. And I'm going to turn that over to Destiny.
Thanks, Julie. Like you proud me right up for that one. To answer that question, yes. So on the back end, there is an option for any organizations that we partner with. So we have partnered, like I put in the chat, we have a local activation strategy. We have about 100 partners across the country. We're working with this program. And then we also work with partners who are not funded as well. But one thing with that is that we do work with partners who are interested in using this. We have there's data, a whole back into this for any organizations that are that actually want to use this as an actual tool. So say you are sharing this with your business community and you want to know what those numbers are. There's a back into that. Say you are sharing, leaving it as a leave behind. You're giving the courses and things to small businesses in your community. There is a way to track that. So if you guys are interested in that piece of it, please complete that brief survey in the chat, and we'll share more information with that for you. But on the back end, you can see how many businesses have registered. You can see what their primary courses are. You can see, you can see if you suggested a business to take a lending course, you can see that on the back end as well. So there's a lot to that, other pieces, but we really wanted to focus on what Julie brought today. But if you're interested in any of that other like data piece, impact, I'm not sure who put that in there, but please complete that form and we'll definitely connect with you.
It is an amazing learning management system. And for any organization to build this on their own, I mean, you're talking years and six figures to build something this robust. And so why recreate the wheel? Use it to supplement. And, there's an organization that I'm a part of, and I'm on the education committee. And every year, we ask the membership, okay, what is it that you want? What are the courses? And then, the calendar is built out. And this is just an amazing way to just supplement all of the programming and resources that you're already providing to just enhance what you're doing and the impact. And as you're hearing, your membership and your businesses that you support, specific needs that they have, or maybe you do a survey and pulse out, what are the specific needs, and then direct them to the specific sections of the platform. And it's all about that ongoing support for communities. And as soon as anyone signs up, when you set up your profile, you'll be getting updated events, so insider events that are in the inbox. So here's a couple of examples. This is what you're going to learn this week. So here's events, and then once again, based on the strategy, the specific need or challenge that you or a small business has, where is your focus, and then building the momentum that lasts. Like this literally was the email that came in this morning, and it's kind of based in these icons, right? So hands-on, right? So once again, kind of managing those expectations of the type of experience that you're going to have through the program, or if it's an ask the expert, or if it's community. So there those are, as well as you scroll down in the email. But it is an amazing platform for the community and businesses that you serve, but as well as for your organization as well. I know we're all trying to do so much with just, a small mighty force, right? And this is a great resource that's there. If there's another question, or if you haven't put in the chat your takeaways, we'd love to have you put them in. We really want to hear from you on how this session was helpful and how it was worth your time joining us. We want to make sure to continually provide value to you so you can keep doing the amazing work that you do each and every day. If anyone wants to raise their hand and ask a question, we can open up the mics if you'd like as well. I see that we've got some accelerator programs going and partnerships. So this will be great to enhance those programs as well. Do quite a bit of in-person training, and we're hearing back from the participants that being able to have actionable items occur in the training, not just PowerPoint by PowerPoint by PowerPoint, but being able to move the needle, not only learning something from an engagement, but having time during that engagement away from your business to focus on it is really what a lot of small businesses are looking for right now. And that'll also help set your organization apart with the different offerings that are out there. If you'd like for me to go over another slide, I'd be more than happy to. Remember, this session is being recorded. You will get the recording so that you can share with your team and whomever else you'd like to.
Yeah, and I think one other piece that I didn't mention is for any organization here that's also interested. Again, I did say complete the form, but to get the impact data and that measurement, I left out the piece about having a unique URL, which is very important. And so we're able to do that for organizations. So please reach out to us if you're interested in testing it out and seeing what this looks like on the back end. Of course, you can share the resource. Please do. But if you're interested in seeing some of that behind the scenes information, we'd love to talk to you more about that and share that with you.
And I'm just going to ask a question as we've got. How many of you, prior to either receiving the email about the session or today, already knew about the Verizon Digital Ready platform? So go ahead and put in the chat if you knew about it. Put yes. If this is all new to you as a new amazing resource, just go ahead and put no. So just we can kind of gauge and see. We've got a few yeses and a no, new to me. Wonderful. Well, this is great. It's all about being the conduit of knowledge and sharing this information and these resources. Knew about it. The 10K grant really got the word out. Yes, absolutely. It did. When we did a similar type of session for this, the grant was closing in a few days. And one of the questions was, well, how quickly can I get all these courses completed? It was, and yes, that grant is great. The work that LISC does is truly, truly amazing. And the work that each and every one of y'all do as well makes a difference each and every day. Has anyone used the Spanish side of the platform? Be interested to see that if any of y'all or any of your end users have used the Spanish side. And Destiny put, yes, there's even more grant opportunities coming. So make sure to encourage once you log on, you're able to obviously go through all of the different sections of the site, as well as explore the resources, the financial resources and promotions that are available. We actually were able to save money on our QuickBooks and in our Microsoft account when had already had accounts, and we were able to benefit from these promotions. So just additional value that the program provides. So a question of how do you get to the Spanish side of the site? So when you log in, excuse me, when you just go to the site, you don't even have to be logged in. Up at the top right, we've got About Digital Ready, the support, and then the Spanish. So it toggles between English and Spanish. And then as you go into the platform, you're also able to search which events as well as which courses are offered in Spanish as well. They did a great, great job on that. I guess we can wrap up. I value everyone's time, and once again, really want to
Really,
oh, there's
Julie,
another
really quick.
question. Oops.
Yep, there's a sharing metrics about how many businesses are already using the platform. What is the return and engagement rates? I don't have the return and engagement rates in front of me. I'm not like that deep in the data, but I can tell you that over 500,000 businesses have at least signed on and used this resource in the past 5 to 6 years. The goal with Verizon is to reach 1 million businesses in a 10-year period. And we really started this partnership in 2021. So from the creation, from the small business uh, resource groups, working with our BDO partners and everything else from the ground up. We've really been a part of this since the beginning, and it's been through a lot of different iterations over the past few years. But yeah, so there's been over 500,000 businesses that have been a part of this so far, and the goal is to get about 500,000 more. In Kristen, if you follow up, I can give you some numbers, probably about engagement, but I just don't have that right now. And then there are live events in Spanish as well on the platform. You just have to go in and they'll be planned. And then we also have many partners who work in communities across the country who are also hosting events in support of this initiative in Spanish as well. I hope I answered all the questions there. And then Julie, I know you're going to say something else.
I
Nope.
was just gonna turn it back over to y'all for closing comments, and just really wanted to thank the IEDC staff and LISC and once again all of y'all for everyone who's joined us today, for the gift of your time and the great impact that everyone does. Truly makes a difference.
And again, just reiterating, thank you everyone for attending. Thank you, Julie and Destiny, for the presentation. A recording will be available in about 48 hours and sent out to everyone with Julie and Destiny's contact information as well, if you do have follow-up questions. The recording will also be available on IEDC's website. And as you see, they've included their contact information in the presentation too. And I hope you all have a great rest of the day. Thank you.